Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Weledoy. I'm your host, Delisa Dawalko, and I'm joined by two members of our community that have been out there in the front lines advocating for us, by us. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you could introduce yourself to the audience, what's your name, where are you from, just a little bit of background as well.
Okay, thank you for having us. My name's Ariam Kirane. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I go to school at East Carolina University. And yeah.
Thank you. And Rahil.
Okay, my name is Rahil Aramayo, and I was born in Makata, Tigray. Came to the U.S. in 1990. Refugee from Sudan, and moved to Charlotte after college, and been here since then.
Well, thank you guys so much, as I said, for joining me here today. We have a lot to talk about. I came across both of you ladies because of how viral one of your advocacy moves were, which is the billboard. And we'll get to that. But before we start, I just kind of want to know how your life has been since the start of this genocide. It's been about 17 months now. We've been in this fight for a while. Just tell me what your past year and some change has been for the both of you. Again, I'll start with you, Ariam.
Okay. I think this is great because you'll get totally two different answers between me and Rahel. But with me being a Tigrayan youth that was born, in the States, the past over a year has been a long, long year. And it sort of also gave me the chance to find where I belong and also what I can do to help, you know, within the community, within everywhere else.
For me, oh my goodness. Okay, for me it was completely different. So I literally was just getting over a PTSD that I didn't even know I had, which was coming from Sudan, coming from leaving Makala in the middle of the night, basically. So when I thought I didn't have PTSD, it brought back a whole PTSD back, memories of Sudan or leaving home. Um, and just the thoughts of when I was in refugee, thinking about, just help. What are our people in America thinking about us, or anybody out in the country thinking about us? Like, just help us. So, and I honestly haven't even been back home since then. So I thought that one day I was going to go home, to be honest with you. And I was just literally getting ready to wanting to go home,
Right.
To be more comfortable. So when that happened, it just brought back a whole different thing. So I'm learning to deal with it now, but it's better for me to deal with it because I'm around my Tegarus. So it helps me a lot.
That's very interesting. So coming from Sudan, coming from a refugee, and now seeing how many millions of people have been displaced due to this war, how has that affected you personally, and how have you been able to cope with the PTSD as well from it?
Honestly, the word PTSD is an American thing. I'm not even going to be, trying to be funny.
No, but it's
It's only
true.
brought to my attention. Yes. So it's so real because you don't, as a back home person, people don't tell you that you have PTSD. You just go along with it. My dad just lives his life. But I know I've had it because it was certain places I didn't want to go to. I didn't want to hear certain cries. I didn't, airplanes going by. It was like so many things I was going through it. So, like I said, when I started finally feeling like I'm comfortable enough to go back home to be around my people again, it just brought me back. And it, like, the hunger that, everything leaving people back home. When I got to refugee and all them people that just sitting there waiting for help. I was 7 years old. Just sitting there, just waiting for help in the middle of nowhere, having to hide from bombs. So all that stuff just brought a lot of stress back, a lot of anxiety.
Right.
I'm just trying to deal with it one day at a time. And honestly, speaking about it helps a lot because what I've been doing for a long time is suppressing it. So I didn't know actually speaking about it helps a lot with people, your own people, anybody.
The refugee camp in itself is a level of PTSD that you didn't know that you had, because one, you're so young, but then two, mental health is not something that's discussed within our culture. If anything, there is no such thing as mental health issues, excuse me. And so suppressing comes normal. We don't even know that we're suppressing it, right? But how, you said speaking about it has helped within the community, or have you sourced out therapy, or how have we coped?
Therapy is something that I didn't even grow up on. To be honest with you, when we came to America, my dad didn't even give us options. He was like, no medicine, no nothing, like stuff that we didn't even know that we could have been on. We just kind of dealt with it. We lived our life and we just dealt with it. But it's not good, to be honest with you, because now that I'm older, I realize the reasons why I was certain ways, the reason why I ran away from people or didn't want to be around people crying. It was so much that now at my age that I recognize that, and it's better. Like I said, talking to people about it is the best thing you can do. Therapy is so much needed. And in our culture, it's almost like talking about it, it's almost like you're not normal if you talk about it. You know, I can't even imagine what my dad is going through because he actually was in a worse position than I was. But for me being a child, I remember people like running away and just bombs flying. You know what I mean? It's a lot. It's a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. But when you come to this country, you just live your life. You just live your life and you do what you can. And then especially now, I feel like it's worse even now. So I can't even imagine. It actually makes me feel bad. It makes me feel bad because I felt like I came here and a lot of them were left behind. And now it's even worse.
Right.
You know, 30 years later, you know. Yeah, it brings out a lot of stress and anxiety.
And for you, Ariam, being in school, how have you been able to cope and just, live a daily life within university and within your community as well?
I mean, it's hard, not being around your community or, people you're used to. The way I cope is advocating and working and within my week, if I'm not doing something for the community or doing something with Rahel or something, I feel off. I don't feel like my normal self. So I feel like advocating, doing things, whether I have the time or not, I make the time. That's the way I cope with it. That's the only way that I feel keeps me going or gives me hope is if I'm doing something.
Which is a great segue to the advocacy work that you both are involved. How did you find yourself involved?
How can you not? Like the minute you feel like you're not going to do anything, you just, like for me especially, the minute I feel like, okay, I'm just going to live my life and do whatever, you remember. You remember every time what's going on back home. You remember the hunger. You remember every time you eat, every time you walk, everything.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
how could you not want to help? So anything that you can do, and that's the problem too. Like a lot of people are like, I don't know what to do or I don't know what to help. Like you can do anything that you feel like your heart desires, just do it. Just do it.
In the beginning, we shortly after everything started, after a bunch of the national protests began, in Charlotte, North Carolina, we started the protest in February. And that's how sort of me and Rahel began, connecting and starting from last year. And from then on, it was.
And so, as I mentioned at the start of this conversation, one of the biggest things you both are known for was the billboard that you guys curated and have put up. Where did the idea come from? Because one, it's a different type of advocacy, and we were talking about this briefly before we started as well. We're so used to our advocacy being, whether that's on social media or on the front lines protesting in front of these government buildings, but a billboard is a little bit more permanent. It's a little more in your face. You can't really deny it. So I love the idea. Where did it come from, and how did you accomplish the goal?
So initially, go ahead, Rahel.
No, go ahead. I mean.
Okay. Initially, the way my story was is I saw a text message in our community group chat, and it was from Rahel saying, "Hey, how about a billboard?" Just an idea that came to the top of my head. And as soon as I saw it, I got really excited because it was an amazing idea. So right then and there, I called her up and I was like, "Hey, Rahel, I saw your text. Like, what's up? Tell me more." And from there, she told me her idea, and I was like, "Okay, like, let's do it." And that's where it came from. And Rahel can tell you where initially her idea came from. But
where did you get this genius idea from, right?
Honestly, I'm glad you said it's genius because that's not even in me. Thank you. Literally, I was just sitting in the car, and we were sitting in the car, and I'm like, what do we do? What is going on? And honestly, my family, I'm back home, we just found out passed away. So I'm sitting here thinking about what do we do? What do we do? And the first thing I thought in my head was, what do you think about a billboard putting something up that you can't? Like, we did a protest, we do everything, but it's like every other day. We don't, it's not there all the time. What is something that I want to be able to see every day that it's not going to go away no matter what? I was like, a billboard. Let me mention it. Let me see if that's a good idea. I didn't know if the community was going to take it or not, because it's a little different.
Right.
But Adiam said, let's do it. It was over with. We just, that was it. It took us 2 weeks to get it on there.
That's incredible. That's so fast. What was the experience like? I have no idea what it takes to acquire a space for a billboard, but what was that experience like?
Honestly, I thought it was going to be more simple because you're like, just make a phone call, put it up, and that's it. No, so it was something that they said it takes 30 days, 90 days sometimes. Okay. We don't have 30 days, 90 days. We don't have time. So between me and Adiam emailing, me calling them two times a day, 5 times a day sometimes, me literally calling one time and just hanging up like, did you guys miss my call? You didn't answer me. Being a bugaboo without and apologizing over and over again, but allowing them to know that it's important to me, and I understand why it's not important to them because there's a lot going on in the world, Right. So I understood that it's not important to them. So I had to keep being persistent. Ariane was very persistent with her emails. We kept calling back and forth, and 2 weeks it was up. We actually have another one coming up in Raleigh.
And where?
So, different city in the. Yes, Ariane will talk a little bit more.
Yeah, so we have one going up next Monday in the capital of North Carolina. So we're kind of trying to spread it out throughout the state. But the process with me, it was exciting. It was frustrating. It was long, but short at the same time. I felt like in the beginning, it was more of, okay, like, we were initially contacting a couple people, and from then on, I was like, okay, we need funding for it. So Rahel, did a large portion of the contribution. She contributed for a month worth, and from then on, we were like, okay, we want to keep this up for longer than a month. How about till the end of the summer? If we can raise the funds through our community. I was like, let's try. I really didn't know how our community would react to it. So I sent that initial text and I was like, we're having it up for a month. How do you guys feel about contributing for other months? And then from then on, within 48 hours, we raised over $4,000. And then within this whole process, we've raised over $5,000. I mean, the response from the community with funding, with the support was amazing. And, without their funding or their support, it wouldn't have happened longer than a month. But it was funny because when we were contacting the lady and things like that, right after Rahel would get off the phone call with her, something she'd be like, oh my gosh, I haven't heard from her. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. And then we would just go back and forth freaking out. But we really had to think about, for us, this is our top priority, but like Rahel said, for them, it's not. It's a business at the end of the day.
Right.
So they're going to answer their phone calls when they can, but for us, till the meantime, we're like freaking out. And she actually put it up sooner than we expected. After we paid, it was a couple days and it was up, which is amazing. And the day it went up, I can't even. I was so excited, and I'm 4 hours away from Charlotte. So I'm like, I want to be in Charlotte. I want to look at it, but I can't. It was.
Well, what has been the impact of this billboard? I know I've seen it go viral through social media, but personally for both of you, what has the impact been? Was your goal met?
So Ariam is going to tell you what the goal, which they got, we got something coming up. But for me personally, it's not for just us to see it because we already know what's going on. We know what's going on back home. It's for other people to see it. So now Ariam and them have came up with something else to be able to get other people's audience. Go ahead, Ariam, tell her about it.
So we just came up with the idea of possibly doing like keeping the hashtag Tigray genocide trend keep going. So we're encouraging people who see it or go by it. If they can take a picture by it, great. If not, it's okay. To post the picture on their social media, hashtag Tigray genocide, and kind of help that Tigray genocide, hashtag trending and keep going. And then also we were thinking, it's great that we're doing it in our community. We're also doing it in South Carolina within a week or so, and maybe a couple more in Charlotte, and then the one in Raleigh. So we have done 2 states. So there's 49 states in the North America, and we were like, it would be amazing if people can continue this billboard idea and continue the billboard challenge and at least put up one for at least 1 month in their states, and go from there. Because like you said, we can protest, we can tweet about it, which is all amazing, but this is sort of like protesting and tweeting on the top of someone's roof, like literally yelling at someone in their face, and they can't get away to it till they physically pass the billboard.
Absolutely. Like, yeah, you're right. A tweet, you can bypass that. You can just scroll past it. There's nothing really mandating you to read or even retweet, but a billboard screams so loud. It's really hard to deny. How long has the billboard been up now, and how can people help keep it up longer? I love the idea of the billboard challenge. I think that's crucial and something that the community within each state throughout the states, even Canada or just Europe in general, should be a part of and really talk about it amongst their community. But how long has your billboard been up thus far?
Right now, it's been up about a week. Actually, it was a week on Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be up. We're trying to keep it up as long as we can. To be honest with you, we're going to open up the donations to public because right now we're actually just getting donations from the Tegaru community, which is amazing. But if we get more donations, we want to just keep it up. The more we paint the whole city, what we got going on, so that people can see it, and then it's in their face all the time. They could know what's going on, and then maybe we can get some kind of help from somebody.
Yeah, that's all we're trying to do. How can our listeners and our audience be more involved in keeping this billboard up longer, as long as it should be, until we've gotten the message across for Tigray genocide?
Honestly, I feel like our community has raised a lot of funds to keep it up. Not only this one, but also ones in, South Carolina as well. What would be more amazing is for them to go on ahead and do the same in their state, because if we keep the billboard up longer in Charlotte, or we can keep it up for 2 months and someone else put that money in their state and keep it up longer and catch the attention of a different audience, then that would be amazing as well. The billboard that we put up is on a major highway that connects into I-77 that people take to travel to other states. So that's one thing when you're thinking about doing the billboard is which highway or which interstate is the one that connects to other states, or which you want to try to stay away from roads that people take every day on their normal commute to work or school. You want to get different people every day, and you never know. News reporters can be passing it by. Anyone that can really, make it louder than it already is, that's your main goal at the end of the day.
I completely agree. That's actually a really important point. You don't want to put it on a route that somebody takes every day, because then it gets redundant at that point. So we're calling this the billboard challenge. That's your goal, is to have a billboard plastered on every major highway throughout the city and states. Have you guys started a campaign for this?
We have not yet, but I think we are going to get started soon because right now we did Charlotte and then we did Raleigh. Raleigh is the capital. Charlotte is a major city. So once we finish those, Raleigh's going ready to go up on Monday. So once that's done, I mean, the challenge is on, which is great for everybody. You know, every state, every city get their own funding and put their billboards up. And we're more than welcome to help them and tell them exactly who to go to, direct them to the right place. And to be honest with you, these billboard companies we've been dealing with, as much as you have to be persistent, they're really helpful and they have ways where they can actually help you get it discounted than they do with these major businesses. So there's discounts out there.
Right, and make sure to utilize those too. It's just the knowledge of knowing that they're there and that they exist. As we talk about different ways of activism and spreading awareness and spreading our message, I'm aware that you guys had a radio segment that you used to deliver your message. Can you tell me a little more about that?
Sure, yeah. The radio station is 103.3 Charlotte. It's one of the largest radio stations in the city. And so basically it began with contacting different radio stations. Luckily, this one got through with us, and we got on the phone call with her, and we just got, one thing that I learned is really explaining what is going on and listening to the other person on the other way, and just being direct with them and just telling them what is going on. So that's what we did. We got on the phone with her and told her what's going on, and she was like, we'll do it. Like, let's do it. And not only let's do it, she was like, our company will cover it for you. So it was, one, covered completely for a whole month, and two, it's a minute segment. It's one of those segments where you hear advertisements for companies. So it's a minute-long segment that airs multiple times a day, 6 days a week for a month. And recently she was like, we'll actually keep it on longer.
Wow.
Rahel, if I missed anything.
Yeah, even with that young lady we're talking about, even with her, it was emails, phone calls 10 times a day, emails 10 times a day. I'm sorry, I know you got my phone call. No, I know you didn't hear it. It was a lot.
Persistency is key. What was the response from that? Again, that's what we're saying, is you're going to hear it whether you want to or not, and having it on repeat throughout their radio waves is so crucial. What was the response?
So you got different response from people. When you're first initially calling these people, honestly, you're just another business to them. They have no idea. I don't want to say they don't care because they have their own life going on, but you're literally just another business to them. So it's important for you to make them feel like it's important to you, if that makes sense. Right. So even explaining it to them, letting them know what's actually personally going on with you and making it into a personal thing, starting a relationship with them, will help you all that.
How do you feel the impact has been from the segment, Ariam?
I think the impact has been positive all throughout. From the initial, from the lady who has helped us with the radio station, the listeners. It has only been on for less than a week. So I know that we can see major impacts within a month or so we're still waiting for that. But what I like specifically about the radio station is, like I said, you get radio commuters with that one, normal listeners, regular listeners. And when they keep hearing about it, they're going to say, okay, let me actually do something about it, and it's honestly an amazing and a step in advocacy. It's a more different way to shout at the international community other than your social media ways.
you would actually be really surprised how many people don't know what's going on. So that's what we found out. Like me personally talking to these people, I found out they have no idea what's going on. Nothing at all. They've never heard of it. So it's not only that it's shocking to them, but it's extremely personal when you start telling them.
Absolutely. I can even give you an example. It's actually really surprising on how in the dark so many people in the world are about this genocide. And because we're so involved in it and it's consumed our entire lives that we think that's everybody. I mean, how can you not know? Like, I'm living this day to day. But another example is I was in an Uber not too long ago leaving from a protest, and the Uber driver was like, what is that? What are you guys celebrating? We're like, we're not celebrating. We're fighting. We're asking. And that was when the day the S-3199 bill passed. We were outside of the Senate building, and as soon as I got in the car, we kind of gave him like a brief info on the Tigray genocide, and he was so shocked. Like, he was like, "Oh, he was like, the war in Ukraine." I was like, "No, the war in Ukraine just started 30 days ago. We've been living in this for over 500 days now, and that's what we're out there chanting for." And he had no idea. And those types of moments are what remind me how our voice needs to be louder. Conversations, networking will be so much more impactful, because then you're telling them about your personal experience, and everybody can relate on a personal level. But what is the future? Do you guys have any more genius ideas up your sleeves on other ways to spread awareness?
So like we said, we have the billboard going up in Raleigh. We also are in a couple weeks getting a couple more billboards in Charlotte, and we're planning to do one billboard in South Carolina. And then other than the radio station, we have a news article in the works of getting published. So we're waiting on those responses. Like Rahel and I have said, continuously being persistent. I feel like every time I call someone, I'm like, "I'm so sorry for bothering you." Like, that's such a line that I use multiple times a day now. But being persistent, not giving up. In the beginning of all of this, I felt like the international community, especially in my state, were sort of, I was like, why are they ignoring us? But it's not that they're ignoring us. It's more of they don't know about us. They don't know about what's going on. So not only are we trying to raise awareness for the Tigray genocide, but we're also trying to make the Tigray community known in North Carolina. We know of all these other international communities and in the state, but now the Tigray community is going to be known.
Love that. Anything to add, Rahel?
To be honest with you, I think it's very important for us to actually push the youth too. Because a lot of our youth are raised in America, or they are born in America. So if we push them and make them understand what's going on, the youth is definitely the people that's going to get us where we need to get at.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me in this conversation. I know I've learned a lot in ways that I can be more impactful in spreading my message. So thank you guys for that. Thank you for what you're doing. And I know the Tegaru community, especially in your own city in North Carolina, are very grateful for you guys. But just know we're all grateful for you guys, because the impact is trickling down to other parts of the states in the world. So thank you for your message. This will be viewed back home as well. So if you guys have a message for our Tegarus that are currently under siege.
Sure. Ajohom Adlanaina. We're here. We are every day we're here for you. Every day we think of you. Every day we're speaking for you. Yeah. Sorry.
No worries. Thank you.
Definitely. We cry for you. We pray for you. Honestly, after all this is done, when we are finally free, I'm going to make it back home.
We all are. That is the ultimate goal. Once Tigray is free and is welcoming us with open arms, we're ready. We are ready to start the rebuilding of what our nation is known to be, and that's the greatest. So thank you guys so much again for joining me. If you guys can give them your social media platforms on how they can be more involved and help you accomplish your goals in the future as well.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions with this billboard challenge, or any questions on how to start, a starting point, I'm contactable on Instagram, ariam.kidane. And Rahel, if you want to drop in.
Okay. Mine is Rahel Alamayo on Facebook. And just wanted to tell everybody, Hawate, I love you, Jaganu.
I hope you, the audience, take away, your greatest takeaway from this is networking. Make sure you use your voice in different avenues of spreading awareness. And for the communities outside of North Carolina and South Carolina, get on this billboard challenge. Try it out. Do it for a week or a month, and see the impact that you garner from it. And I'm sure you'll continue. Again, thank you guys so much for joining me.
Thank you so much.
Okay, ciao.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, guys.